Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You. Welcome to Our Region's Business with your host, Bill Flanagan.
Well, today on Our Region's Business, we're focusing on entrepreneurship, the innovators and risk takers that fuel much of the job growth in our region's economy. A little later, we'll catch up with a number of nominees for the coveted Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. But first, we're focusing on the fuel that makes entrepreneurship run. Capital. Plenty of venture capital has been pouring into our region in recent years. In fact, according to a recent review by Ernst & Young and Innovation Works, our region attracted more than $338 million from a variety of investor types from 2009 to 2013. Angel investors are playing a bigger and bigger role in all of that. Catherine Mott is founder and CEO of Wexford-based investment firms BlueTree Capital Group and BlueTree Allied Angels. And welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I can't believe BlueTree. You've been around now doing sort of organizing angels for a decade now?
Indeed, 10 years. And we've invested in 43 regional companies, approximately $27 million.
That's really exciting. It adds up, as they used to say, $1 million here, $1 million there.
Yes,
before long, you've invested in 40 companies. For folks who don't really understand, they've probably heard the term angel, but kind of where it fits into the spectrum of investment in early stage companies?
Angel investors are private investors who invest in startup companies for a share of equity in the company. And that differs from venture capital. Venture capital usually invests other people's money, institutional money. We're investing our own money. And where we play in the landscape of a startup company, in the life cycle of a company, is typically when a company starts out and has an idea. It's usually their credit cards and their friends and family that first invest to support them. And then typically they go to incubators and many of the government support agencies and help develop their business plan and get some seed capital to get moving. And then after that, they will come to angel investors. And that's a point when they will need at least $1 million or maybe $1 million to $3 million. And angels will invest as individuals, or they'll invest as a group like we do at BlueTree Allied Angels. We're a member group. We have 65 private investors, and we aggregate our knowledge and aggregate our money to invest in, typically, like I said, where the company needs the $1 to $3 million range. Okay, and then presumably they can run on that angel investing for a while, and then at some point they're staged for the bigger institutional investment, what we think of when we classically think of venture capital. So you mentioned over 40 companies you've invested in. What are some? I know it's hard to pick one. It's like choosing your favorite child, right? Oh, I can't. Don't make me do it.
But a couple come to mind, just for example, that people might be familiar with?
One that I think there's a couple I think will come to people's mind is Four Moms. Thorley. Oh,
Thorley, we've had Rob Daly and Henry Thorne on this show on numerous occasions.
Right.
Yeah.
We've put in $1.6 million in that company at the very beginning, and so we're proud to say that we were there at the beginning of this company. So they're a superstar.
Well, they are. I just saw they just announced an expansion to a new facility. I mean, they've become one of the great sort of robotics-related success stories in Pittsburgh.
Indeed, indeed. And another company is A-Lung Technologies. It's an artificial lung or a hemo lung. It replaces, in some cases, in severe cases, it replaces a patient's need to be intubated and on a ventilator. And it allows the patient to be breathing, because it removes the CO2 from the blood. Okay. And it allows the patient to be breathing, sitting up, talking. It's just an amazing technology.
Even if they don't have full enough lung function to be able to get enough oxygen, it provides the oxygen so they avoid all that other invasive kinds of technologies. That's really cool.
Yes, and we've been with that company since 2004, and we're thrilled to see the traction they're making now. They're selling units in Europe, Canada, Australia, and what's next is the USA market.
Good examples of the kinds of innovation that's happening in our region right now. I often hear in talking to the folks that are in the entrepreneurship space and the investment space that there may be more good deals right now than there is money to help them grow.
That is indeed a problem for our region. It's been amazing what I watched, Bill, over the past 10 years here in Pittsburgh. The changes that have occurred. When we first started in October 2003, there were maybe 2 or 3 support agencies in the region. Today there's like 7 or 8 incubators that are not they're not supported by the government. They're self-funded. They get or foundation funding, and there's just such rich resources here for companies to get started. But there is a critical gap between the seed and startup money and what they need to scale and be able to distribute their products or grow. And what we've seen, and again, you referenced the Ernst & Young report, I think that's a good example. I mean, it speaks volumes to me about the need for additional capital here. There were 120 venture firms that invested in 249 companies in the past 3 years. So that's outside VCs coming here. But we only have like 3 VCs here investing locally. We need 11, we need 12, we need multiple VCs.
Well, it's great to have money come in from outside and use other people's money to grow our businesses, but I guess the consequences is they may move the businesses,
Exactly.
right?
There's 2 consequences to that. One is not that our region, not just that our region loses the jobs, our region loses the wealth creation that's created by that venture capital fund. So why not have our own venture funds create the wealth for our own region and create the jobs for our own region?
Well, only a little less than a minute left, but what, you've done that now, right? You set up your own venture fund on top of your angel fund, right?
That's our next step. This past April 30th, as a matter of fact, we did our first close on our venture fund. It's focused on a Series B round, and that Series B comes after the angels, so it is a true venture fund. And it's going to pick the best of companies that need that next round of funding.
Wow, that's really exciting. Last question, can anybody be an angel and participate in a fund like this? Or you need a certain amount of wealth, or are there rules and stuff?
There are rules around this. The Securities and Exchange Commission requires private individuals to have a net worth of $1 million. That's not including the value of their home, or $200,000 a year in annual income. And that means for the current year and the previous 2 years, and that qualifies you. That qualifies a lot of professionals. In our angel group, we have attorneys, we have doctors. I mean, these are people C-level, VP level people who are active in the community. So it's not just cashed out entrepreneurs that can participate in this. You can be again, someone that's working and participating in our group.
Well, fascinating, and clearly in our region, the more the merrier. We need the capital, we got plenty of good ideas, we just need the money to make them grow. Catherine Mott from BlueTree Angels, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And next up, we're off to the Duquesne Club in downtown Pittsburgh to meet a few nominees for the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Stay with us.